Everyone. So yesterday we discussed about nutrition in plants, and we said that nutrition, which is providing essential nutrients to the organism's body so that it can perform growth and development. So nutrition in plants is basically of two types. We discussed that: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. So what is autotrophic nutrition? Mode of nutrition in which organisms can prepare their own food from simple substances. And what was heterotrophic nutrition? Mode of nutrition in which organisms directly or indirectly depend upon plants for their food. Okay, these are the two types of nutrition that we discussed. So, nutrition in plants. Autotrophic nutrition, the process by which plant prepare their own food. The process by which plant prepare their own food using sunlight, water, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll is called photosynthesis. You can see the elements are given here. Carbon dioxide, water, light energy. These components combine together to give sugar, which is nothing but glucose, plus oxygen that is given out by the plants and is taken by animals for their own respiration. Okay, so this process, the process by which plants prepare their own food using sunlight, water, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll is called photosynthesis. Nutrition in plants. In leaves, the leaves are the site of photosynthesis. That means the place where photosynthesis takes place. So photosynthesis takes place in the leaves of a plant. Therefore, all the raw materials must reach the leaves of plants. You can see in the diagram, there is a leaf, and let me take a pen. The carbon dioxide, light energy, oxygen, these materials, water and organic matter also, these material must reach the leaf of the plant where photosynthesis will take place. So the leaf is the factory where processing of food takes place. So this leaf is the factory where processing of food takes place. Okay, let's see. Chlorophyll is a pigment present in leaves. Uses the energy from sun to prepare food by using water and carbon dioxide. The chlorophyll that is found in the leaves, this pigment present in leaves uses the energy from sun to prepare food by using water and carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight and in the pigment chlorophyll produces carbohydrate, which is the main food, and releases oxygen to the atmosphere. So plants use carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight in the pigment chlorophyll to produce carbohydrate and oxygen. That oxygen is released to the atmosphere. The food prepared is carbohydrate, which is then converted into starch. Okay, the prepared food, carbohydrate, combines together to form starch. During photosynthesis, oxygen is released to the atmosphere. Now, the leaves other than green also have chlorophyll. A large number of red, green and other pigments mask the green color. That means those leaves that are not green also possess chlorophyll. Okay, but due to the presence of some other colored pigments, red, brown and green, the green color is not so visible. The photosynthesis takes place in these leaves also. Photosynthesis takes place in these leaves also. But there are some plants also which do not have chlorophyll. There are some plants which do not have chlorophyll. They depend on the food produced by other animals. This mode of food production is known as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. There are some plants which do not have chlorophyll, so they have to depend on other plants for their nutrition. And this mode of nutrition is known as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Now the heterotrophic plants are divided into 4 subtypes. You can see parasitic plants, saprophytic plants, insectivorous plants and symbiotic plants. Parasitic plants, saprophytic plants, insectivorous plants and symbiotic plants. So the heterotrophic group of plants are divided into 4 basic types: parasitic, saprophytic, insectivorous and symbiotic. We will understand what this means. First, let us see what are saprophytic plants. Plants which do not have chlorophyll, and they get their food from dead, decaying organic matter. Okay, plants which do not have chlorophyll and they get their food from dead and decaying organic matter, example mushroom, bread mold, etc. They produce digestive juice on the dead and decaying organic matter and convert it into a solution and then absorb the nutrients from the solution. So saprophytic plants, they do not have their own chlorophyll. So they have to take their food from where? They have to take their food from dead and decaying organic matter. Some examples of this type of plants are mushroom, bread mold, etc. So what do? They produce some juices, digestive juices on the dead and decaying matter and convert it into a solution and then absorb the nutrients from the solution. You can see in the pictures, mushroom, bread mold is given. 2 types of mushroom are there. Bread mold is also shown. Okay, this is mushroom. This is mushroom, bread mold, enlarged view. Now next, let us see what is symbiotic plants or symbiotic relationship. There are some plants which live together and share shelter and nutrients. Okay, symbiosis means surviving with each other, helping each other. So there are some plants which live together, and what they do, they share shelter as well as nutrients. Examples, lichens. In lichens, what happens? An algae and a fungus live together. What is a lichen? A lichen is a symbiotic relationship between an algae and a fungus. The fungus provides, what does the fungus do? It provides shelter, water and minerals to the algae. And the algae in turn provides food to the fungus, which prepares it by photosynthesis. So the algae prepares the food, and in turn the fungus provides shelter, water, minerals, etc. In this type of relationship, what is important? Both the partners are benefited. Okay, both the partners will be benefited. The fungus helps the algae by providing shelter, water, minerals, and in return for its help, the algae produces food and shares it with the fungus. Okay, so this is an activity to show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. So in the first step, take two potted plants of the same kind. Keep one in sunlight and the other in a dark room for 2 to 3 days. You take two plants of the same kind. One should be kept in sunlight and the other in a dark room for 2 to 3 days. Step 2. Then take a leaf from both the plants and test for starch. Put the leaves in a test tube, pour some spirit in it, and put the test tube in a beaker containing water. This experiment you have done in class 6 also. Step 3. Boil the water till all the green color in the leaves come out into the spirit. Step 4. Then take the leaves and wash it in water. Put the leaves on a dish and pour some iodine solution over it. Observation. What you will see, the leaf of the plant kept in sunlight turns blue-black. The plant leaf that was kept in sunlight will turn blue-black in color. The leaf of the plant kept in the dark does not turn blue-black. Okay. Now, on treating a leaf with iodine solution, if it turns blue-black, that means starch is present. And if it does not turn blue-black, that means starch is not present. Now, the leaf that was kept in sunlight turns blue-black in color. Okay, the leaf that was kept in sunlight turns blue-black in color. That means what? That leaf performed photosynthesis and produced carbohydrate, which later changed into starch. But the leaf of the plant kept in the dark does not turn black. That means the plant that was kept in the dark could not perform photosynthesis. Okay, and hence could not produce carbohydrate. And so it had no starch on it. So this activity proves that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. This activity proves that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. Okay. Let's discuss a little bit about parasitic plants. Plants which do not have chlorophyll and cannot prepare their own food. They get their food from other plants called host. Okay. So what are parasitic plants? These are plants which cannot prepare their own food and get their food from other plants. They do not provide any benefit to the other plant, but they just take food from them. The plant from which these parasitic plants take food are called host. Example of a parasitic plant is cuscuta. You can see the images here. These are all examples of parasitic plants. One plant is taking food from the other plant. Instead of, that means, but not providing any extra benefits. In symbiosis, one plant, in symbiotic relationship, one plant is taking food from the other plant, but in turn is providing shelter and all. Okay, but in parasitic relationship, what is happening? One plant is just taking food from the other plant without providing any special benefit. Insectivorous plants. Plants which feed on insects. Example, pitcher plant. The leaf of the pitcher plant is modified into a pitcher. The end of the pitcher has a lid which can open and close. When an insect enters the pitcher, the lid closes. The insect is then digested by digestive juices inside the pitcher. Now you can see the picture here. The lid of the pitcher plant is open. Okay. the lead of the pitcher plant is normally open. Here, if an insect enters the pitcher, what will happen? This lead will get closed. The lead of the pitcher plant will get closed and the insect will be trapped inside. Then the pitcher plant will start secreting some digestive juices from its inner part. As a result, what will happen? The insects will get slowly digested by the plant and the nutrients will be used by the plants for its own growth and development. Nutrition how nutrients are replenished in the soil. That means since plants are continuously using these nutrients, they should decrease, but there is a way in which the nutrients are again resupplied to the soil and the cycle goes on. And let's see how this happens. Plants absorb nutrients from the soil. So the nutrients in the soil decreases. Thus farmers, what do? They add manures and fertilizers to the soil to increase the nutrients in the soil. The bacterium called rhizobium, which lives in the roots of leguminous plants like grams, peas, beans, etc., converts nitrogen from the air into soluble form in the soil and makes the soil rich in nitrogen. Nitrogen is very much essential for the growth and development of plants. We know that the atmosphere contains nearly about 78% of nitrogen gas, but that nitrogen cannot be directly used by the plants. So it has to be converted into some soluble form in the soil, which are then used by the plants. And this is done with the help of this bacteria named as rhizobium. So this rhizobium is also known as, that means, a farmer's friend. Okay, it helps in fixing atmospheric nitrogen in the soil. So in return, what does the plant do? It provides food and shelter to the bacteria. So rhizobium and leguminous plants, they share a symbiotic relationship between them. Both of them help each other.
Thank you everyone for watching this video.